Hiya! Captain King! Hey, and welcome back to another episode of Big Points Theory, where the theories are made up and the points are all that matters. Suj, what do you have to say after the international break?
Fuck the international break. Bad game week. Kane. No, man. Kane. Why?
Bad game week.
It's
Yeah.
bad.
No, the Hurricane, he threw us away. The stats were all in there for him. They were ready, 100%. Everything pointed to him.
Yeah, look, Cardiff had a plan for him. So, I mean, well, not for him, for their team, because they won all the tackles in their own half, in like the second half. So they were like, they put up that border wall, and it worked.
You talk about that, yeah. Harry Kane might as well have. I'm sure he was off his game because he was attacking Florida,
Oh yeah,
Harry
other shit.
Kane. But I would say that maybe the thing I noticed is that he was playing deep, and surely that is the effect of not having Eriksen and Ali for this extended long period, I mean, Spurs are not really. They're not losing or anything, but they're definitely not prolific as they could be, And Kane he's bucking the trend now of what he's done in previous seasons, where at this point in time he'd be scoring. But that's a chance we took. Everything looked like he was up, but it was total failure. But hopefully we can rectify that this week. But before we get to that, we're going to do something different this week. We're going to actually start with some FPL news. So let's start with the injuries. So there's a good few injuries that are significant. Tell me about Mane.
Mane, well, I see he had the operation on his thumb, and they say they're going to give him a late fitness test, but I don't understand how he can play with a broken thumb, even after an operation. I mean, like, what if somebody falls on him, or he falls on his own hand, and then...
Oh, what if he scores, and he was... but can't, because he's... No, man. Look, if you have surgery, surely you can't play. I mean, they pump you full of drugs, no ways you can play, but I noticed the trend with a lot of the injuries, right? Like, we've got, obviously, Eriksen down here. They're saying, no, he's injured, and it's fatigue, but then another report says it's because he's got some chronic stomach injury. I think the managers are playing. They're playing games at the moment with injuries. But I mean, surely the international break's having its effect as well.
Yeah, maybe that Mane thing. They just want him to be on the field with a cast so he can cleash some of the hours,
Did you see that meme? The one where they're saying now it's he's what? No more Sadio Mane. He's Sadio gender neutral.
Yeah. So that was what.
Where did they come up with that stuff? So yeah, Zaha obviously might be a fantasy what do you call it, asset that people might have, and he seems to have a problem. Fraser, I believe he was sent home from the Scotland because he failed the medical. So I mean, I know a lot of people have him in their team.
Both of them will play.
Is anyone else significant? Because I was actually looking at the injury list. Let me just pull it up quickly. Remember the website we use is Fantasy Football Fix, and they actually have a nice way of keeping track of some of the injuries. So you can see Fraser there. I can't think of anyone else that's standing out. Oh, obviously Salah was injured. He was injured. But do you think he's gonna play?
I think he'll play.
Yeah, him and Milner also were mentioned, but I'm not sure if he's gonna play. Because I mean, you could check there. The return date says the 20th.
Reaches, today.
Yeah, so I'm not sure with him. There's a lot of players here that they're not really significant to the fantasy points. Other than that, let's move on now because how can I forget De Bruyne? I mean, I believe I already know a few people that have decided to bring him in.
Yeah, your father brought him in 9.7. Took the chance.
9.7. Didn't you say it was 9.6 the other day?
No. 9.7.
Oh, okay. But I mean, would you recommend that?
Yes.
Considering he's come from like a major injury and all that.
Okay, but then my argument will be that even if it takes him time to get back into that team, he's still going to get back into the team and be an integral part of that team like he was last year.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
think he would be undroppable in Pep's team.
Wow, yeah. And I mean, considering that even Aguero was was carrying a slight injury, and now Mendy's also back, so yeah,
Yeah,
they're obviously gonna be full strength again.
exactly.
Okay. Yeah, shit. City, they doesn't look like they're gonna be stopped. So moving on to players that we need to keep an eye out on. Now, I believe that is pronounced because we had people asking me like, why am I having trouble pronouncing it? It apparently it's Doherty. I don't know where the K comes from, but I bet it's your neighbor that lives down the street from you.
Right? There's no there's no rules to pronunciation, so
Yeah,
you can
because
say it however you want.
yeah, I did not say that. But so we can see listed here. We've got Trippier, Sigurdsson. You have a soft spot for Sigurdsson.
Yeah, Siggy Soggy Shorts, one of my favorite FPL
Siggy
players.
soggy shorts.
While everybody else had Michu, I had Soggy Shorts. I love him.
Yeah. Look, I mean, he was fantasy gold back in the day, but I mean, would you really consider bringing him in?
Yeah, in the last game, he scored an absolute rocket from outside the box from 35 yards out. He got more points than Carlson in the last 2 games. I would
Yeah,
definitely recommend him. He's a bit more expensive, and I still think he's got FPL class. That he has points in him.
yeah. No, agreed. Um, Wilson, I will say, like, Wilson is someone I might punt for. He's been producing points. I remember bringing him in, and then he didn't score for the 2 weeks, and then after I took him out, he started scoring again. So that's just my luck. But I mean, Bournemouth I think they have like 3 good fixtures coming up, but then
True,
after that, it's curtains. Like, they're gonna freak after that. So if you still have him, or if you're thinking of bringing him in, it's gonna definitely be short term. But I mean, for his price, he's definitely a point scorer.
definitely,
Yeah,
definitely. Even if you want to rotate him, maybe with one of your midfielders, if you plan it in that sense, So when he does have those difficult fixtures, you play the midfielder.
yeah. And all right, let's go to the ones with the in the red there. Salah, hey, that's the appropriate picture, eh?
Why? They're gonna give him the boot to it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely are. But I think it's
I,
because he's
I
holding his
thought,
hand up and saying, "Yeah, I'm total crap. I'm not scoring anything."
oh no,
Yeah,
I thought he's trying to say, put your hands up. Who's gonna take this away from me?
yeah, yeah.
And
Well,
it
the
just so
guy is,
happens the guy that's below him there seems to be like, I'll take it. But
yeah,
no,
yes, Kane he's playing like he's playing for England, dropping deep. We made a mistake bringing him in, and I would even there's a lot of talk that people saying now do a straight swap between him and Aguero, and maybe that's actually the way to go.
well,
But
I think he'll score this week because Ericsson seems to be on the return. West Ham is more of an attacking team. They will actually, it's a London derby, so they'll go for it. They won't sit back like Cardiff, which
yeah,
will open up a few spaces for Kane. I think he will score this week.
okay, fair enough. And that last point there, Leicester's fixtures. I mean, definitely take a look at their fixtures. We need to start looking at some of their players like Maguire. I mean, Maguire is turning out to be fantasy gold again, so
Yeah.
that's just something to keep out for. But let's go straight to the real reason we all here to see our captain picks for the week. So yeah, let's get there now. Right.
Can be only one.
So talk me through it. Let's start with Aguero.
Well, Aguero was left out of the Argentina squad, so he's fresh for Burnley. Plus, at home, he scored like 4 goals and 4 assists in 4 games so far.
Yeah. Look, I mean, um, he's definitely having a lot of shots and whatever. But I wanted to ask you, like, are you not concerned maybe that he hasn't in the last few, at least 4 games, he hasn't finished a 90 minutes, and I think they did say he was carrying an injury. You think that 2 weeks break has kind of he'll be 100% fit because I haven't seen any reports
Yeah,
to say he's 100% fit.
I'm guessing that is the case. And plus, I think Pep has marked him as his main striker for now because I see Jesus getting no love there whatsoever.
Yeah. Plus, I
The
mean, his
plus, this
fixtures
guy,
have
yeah,
been
even if he plays 60 minutes, 70 minutes, he gets something. There's something to have there.
Yeah, you're right. And I mean, if they're playing Burnley, and I think you mentioned something to me about Burnley being like conceding the most shots or something.
Yeah, they've conceded the most big chances in the league, while City have created the most big chances in the league. So that's just a perfect storm waiting to happen there.
Okay, so okay, I see what you mean. Well, let's go on to the next one, which I'm a little surprised, but also not surprised to see Lacazette on this list. So
Yeah, you should
whatever.
be surprised and not surprised to see one here. 'Cause look, he's also fresh after a nice 2 week rest. Him and Obiang seems to be putting up a nice partnership together. He scored points in the last 6 games. I mean, it's like 8.4 points per match in the last 5. That's a lot of points, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a lot of points. You can't ignore that.
Yeah, that's a lot of fish. That's a lot of points.
Oh, you got that, did you?
He's piling on the points. Yeah, look, I mean, I've had him in my team, and I will say like he's definitely in and around the points and whatever, but I don't know if his underlying stats really like justify to say like captain him or whatever. You know, he's definitely not scoring big points, but I mean, Arsenal's fixtures are obviously decent. Um, I'm assuming
Look,
they're gonna play.
they play, what's the name this week? Leicester.
Oh yeah, that's a bit of a
Yeah, but most of Leicester's backline was on international duty.
ah.
So
Okay,
maybe
okay, fair
they'll be
enough.
a bit tired. Who knows?
Fair enough. And then of course, man of the tournament so far.
Player of the season.
Yeah.
7 goals, 3 assists, 13 bonus points. Thank you very much.
13 bonus points. Holy.
Now you can't deny it. He's on that, was it 2 years ago form where he was unstoppable and the highest point scorer in the game, or was it 3 years ago, something like that?
Yeah,
That's where he is now.
the Chelsea coach is clearly doing something. He's clearly doing something right. I mean, he's making him the focal point. But in terms of captaincy, I mean, he's playing United this weekend.
Well,
I hesitate to ask you what the result will be.
yeah, well, from the stats, it looks like it's just a Chelsea win because I mean, only 3 teams have conceded more than United, 7 goals away from home, and for United to have conceded already 7 goals away from home,
Yeah,
and it's not even 10 game weeks old. Wow.
Yeah, shit. And I mean, but
Look,
in terms of like Hazard, I mean, hasn't he just like he's always smashed us whenever we play him?
yeah, well, and actually 2 games ago they man marked him with Herrera, and he didn't really get anything that game, so that's why I'm not putting him as my favorite for the captain this week because I mean, you know, Mourinho, he might be having a hard time of it, but he might come there and park the bus or 2 and, you know, stifle the game.
Yeah, yeah.
And Hazard,
Well,
maybe it'll be like a tight 1-0 for Chelsea, and then maybe Hazard will get it, but I don't see him scoring like 3s and 4s.
Yeah, okay, look, fair enough. But I will say, like, all I know is that we clearly will be when you say if you say park the bus, we're definitely gonna be heading for another red card, I'm sure. But now look, to me, I said it before and I'll say it again. Hazard seems fixture proof, and hey, the Garden of Eden Hazard is truly a heaven of points. Yeah. So anyway, Mikhail, if you're watching, Hazard injured for the season. Okay, enough
No,
of
you
that.
can't do that.
So who's the
Hazard's
captain?
very
Who's the captain out of these?
the main captain,
Yeah.
Aguero.
Okay. And in the highly unlikely would that you don't have any of these 3 players, have you got any differentials for those stragglers in the league?
Yeah, well, look, if you don't have Aguero and Hazard and Lacazette, then you probably have Sterling laying around, you know, at that price point because he's also been on some fantastic form.
Yeah, he's been on great form. I mean, did you see the goals he scored for England against Spain?
Oh yeah, fantastic, man. Really, I mean, you know what? The way he played, he opened up space for all the other players, which made it pretty easy for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, he seems to be doing very well under Pep, and that finishing story that he had that wasn't working seems to be coming about now.
Yeah, no, I agree. Any more like maybe one last punt there?
Well, I was looking at Mitrolovic.
Who?
Mitrolovic.
Mitrovic.
Man.
Oh, Mitrovic.
I know he hasn't scored for a while, but he got 2 for his country against Montenegro, and they're playing Cardiff.
They're playing Cardiff, the Whipping Boys. So actually,
look, Cardiff are at home. Maybe they do the same thing they did against Spurs, but I highly doubt it. I think they'll go out to try and win this one because these are points that they need to get against their fellow strugglers. Yeah. So maybe they'll go, and then Mitrovic will, because every time Fulham score anything, it goes through him.
Okay.
And he's...
Yeah, no, I mean, look, Mitrovic, but I don't think anyone will seriously captain him, but I see what you mean. Like, he's definitely there for points. Like, he's been performing unexpectedly, I would say. Yeah, so that's it for this week. Captain Aguero seems like the solid choice. We said that about Kane last week, though, so hopefully we won't get smashed by a bloody Argentinian. Okay, that's it for this week, and we'll catch you next week. Good luck with your points all this week. Cheers.